You know, if you watch us regularly, you know that this segment is called Let Me Introduce You To. And I introduce you to people that you might not otherwise meet that are interesting, doing interesting things. Now I have to introduce you to two guests. One of them, a very, very well-known and respected chiropractor in town, and the other, a documentarian. And both of them are the same guy.
Yeah.
You son of a gun, Dr. Chris McDaniel. When did the split career begin?
Probably about the same time my split personality disorder came out. No.
Okay, the third
10 years
person
ago.
is the stand-up Chris McDaniel.
Like Pat McMahon, I've tried to follow in your shoes. About 10, 12 years ago, some friends of mine and I had a small boutique record label right here in Phoenix called Dreamy Draw Music. And nobody uses the term Dreamy Draw anymore, but that's the good old days, right? So Dreamy Draw Music, we decided there was more money in film than music, so we said, let's make a documentary with all of these musicians that we've met along the way.
But you were practicing as a healer at that time.
Oh yeah, and still, I mean, I do chiropractic 3 days a week.
Sure.
And have done that since 2001. So we're in year number 20 of that, and about half that time I've been a filmmaker also.
But the labor of love seems to be documentaries.
I used to tell people I'm a chiropractor that makes films, but now I tell people I'm a filmmaker that has a side job as a chiropractor.
What might we see? Give us the titles and the subject matter.
Well, in Arizona, we made a documentary called Blood into Wine, which the lead singer of Tool, Perfect Circle, Pussifer, named Maynard James Keenan, he lives in northern Arizona, and we made a film about the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into growing grapes in the desert. So he has an award-winning vineyard. We were making another film called The Heart is a Drum Machine, basically a love letter to music, why music is in all of our lives. We all have a soundtrack. During that film, we interviewed Maynard at his vineyard, and we looked around and it was gorgeous, and we said, there's a movie here. So we went back after,
my perception of winemaking is that it
I would say accosting him every time we saw him in public and emailing and calling 3 or 4 times a day. He finally said, okay, you can do a movie here. So we followed him around for 14 months, the whole life of a grape, from planting to bottling, and we made a film here. Marshall Trimble, Arizona State historian, helped us out, and we shot all over Jerome and Sedona, Wilcox, and it really is a love letter to winemaking in Arizona. So that was a lot of fun. Blood and Wine is on Amazon and Tubi right now, so you can all watch it.
Now,
I'd rather sell it to you, but
you may not have an international reputation as a chiropractor.
Oh, maybe
but
I do.
But you do as a filmmaker, don't you?
I do. We've won awards. Some of our films have been screened, I mean, probably 20 different countries. We've won film festivals in Finland, France, Spain, all over. But I did adjust about 20 people on top of the Blarney Stone at Blarney Castle. So I may be internationally known as a chiropractor.
Well, and of course, that automatically would be the favorite of John Patrick Michael McMahon.
Of course.
By the way, you don't really fit into a niche as a documentarian. You seem to have a broad range of interests.
It started out with my love of music films. So the first 4 documentaries are all music-based films. Then I worked on a couple of features and have met just amazing people along the way. And
like who?
I did a feature called Battle Creek in Mississippi. The director was Allison Eastwood, which is Clint's little girl, and the star of that film was Bill Skarsgård, who is the clown in It, you know, scary clown. And that was great. I was his roommate for 6 weeks. He had to live with somebody that worked on set, and he chose me, and so we shared a house. But I mean, it's crazy. From Johnny Depp to Mark Wahlberg to, you know, I'm blessed. I get to meet all these people. I get to become friends with them. It's amazing.
I've never asked you this, and I've known you for a long time. I'm interested particularly because of the fact that you do documentaries, so many of them focused on the music world in some capacity. Do you have a favorite musical feature in the history of film? Is there one that you say, I'll go back and see it again and again?
And are you talking musical or a film with great music in it?
No, musical.
Okay. I will admit this because I have known you a long time. You know my family. Annie is one of the greatest musicals ever made. Everybody loves Grease, and I've got somebody at home that thinks Les Mis is the greatest film ever made. I can't stand to see Russell Crowe sing, "Hand me the cup, please." Like, I just can't stand it. But she loves it. God bless her. Happy wife, happy life, all that. But no. Annie, I think, is one of the best musicals ever made. And it's hard to admit that, but it's...
Okay, what's next for you?
Next, I'm finishing up a film called Original Motion Picture Soundtrack. It is amazing. It's got every 80s film that we loved throughout the 80s. I've got Kevin Bacon talking about Footloose. I've got Huey Lewis talking about Back to the Future. I've got Kenny Loggins talking about Kenny Loggins. It's really amazing.
How do we find your work?
Everything. Semi-Rebellious Films is my film company.
What is it called?
Semi-Rebellious Films.
Oh.
We wanted to be cutting edge without actually getting in trouble, so we're only semi-rebellious. But my office website, mcspine.com, everything's on there. You can always, you can find it all. But that movie's not out yet, so you can't see it yet.
And if somebody is, you've got the John Travolta thing.
I'm waiting for John. He's my last interview.
And if you want a semi-rebellious chiropractor, where do they find you medically?
Pinnacle Peak in Pima, right next to Preston's Steakhouse. We're moving bones 3 days a week. Come up there and let me hit you.
Do you get anything off of the steaks as a result of mentioning them on this television segment?
I should. I will say this. Used to, happy hour went till 6. I close at 6. So I called and said, listen, people, I got to take advantage of these steaks. And so they moved happy hour to 7, 3 to 7. So Preston Steakhouse, happy hour 3 to 7, and I'm getting no kickback whatsoever. I don't know, but
Doctor, documentarian, and semi-rebellious Dr. Chris McDaniel, and I'm glad I introduced him to you.